Okay, now for what we have regarding the distance and midpoint formulas, okay, we have as an example, you can have two ordered pairs, one at -3, 7 and the other one at 4, -5. And let's say that if you were to have a line segment to connect these points and want to find out what the distance between the points will be, as well as what point will lie between -3, 7 and 4, -5. Okay, now to be able to determine the distance, okay, we have among our algorithms, we have the distance d is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of the differences between the x coordinates, where we have x2 minus x1, as well as the y coordinates, where we have y2 minus y1. And to be able to identify our ordered pairs and coordinates accordingly, okay, we have for -3, 7, since that is given first, we'll let -3, 7 represent x1, y1. Since 4, -5 is given subsequently, we'll say that 4 will be x2 and -5 will be the second y coordinate. And in the configuration of the distance, okay, we substitute accordingly. Okay, we have for the distance d, we're going to have the square root. Okay, so we have x2 minus x1, so this will be 4 minus -3. And that difference will be squared. For y2 minus y1, again we have y2 is at -5, y1 is going to be at 7, so we have -5 minus 7 quantity squared. Now in looking at the differences, okay, now we have 4 minus -3, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive, so 4 minus -3 is going to revert to 7. So you have 7 to the second. -5 minus 7 will be -12. And that will be squared. And in looking at the values, now for the distance, we have the square root. Okay, we have the square of 7, which will be 49. And the square of a negative number is also going to be a positive, so we have the square of -12 will be at 144. And so adding the numbers together, we have for the distance, we have the square root of 193. Okay. As for the midpoint, okay, midpoint, we're looking for the order pair that lies again between -3, 7 and 4, -5. Now for the midpoint, you're looking at, for the first coordinate, you're looking at the average, first of all, the x coordinates of the not the midpoints, but the endpoints. And as for the y coordinate of the midpoint, we're looking at taking the mean of the y values of the endpoints. And so if we were to substitute accordingly, okay, we have for x1 plus x2, we have -3 plus 4. And again, the sum is going to be divided by 2, y1 plus y2. Okay, so we have 7 plus -5. This will be divided by 2. And we have for the midpoint, okay, we have -3 plus 4. It's going to be 1 divided by 2. So we have for the midpoint, we have a non-integer first coordinate value, where at the midpoint the x value will be at 1/2. As for the y value of the midpoint, we have 7 plus -5, or 7 minus 5, which will be 2 divided by 2, which will be 1. And so we have for the activity that occurs, okay, between -3, 7 and 4, -5, we have the distance between the points to be at the square root of 193, and as for the point that lies between, we have at 1/2 and 1.